Yoga.
Start
good morning, Balamurli sir.
Sir, start అయింది.
Okay. Good morning to everybody. ఖమ్మం, సూర్యాపేట రెండు జిల్లాల ప్రాథమికోన్నత పాఠశాలల ప్రధాన ఉపాధ్యాయులు, అలాగే SGT ఉపాధ్యాయ మిత్రులు, ఈరోజు శిక్షణ కార్యక్రమంలో భాగంగా లెర్నింగ్ అవుట్కమ్స్ ఇంగ్లీష్ సబ్జెక్ట్ మీద మనకి ఈరోజు శిక్షణ కార్యక్రమాన్ని ఇవ్వడానికి చేసినటువంటి రిసోర్స్ పర్సన్ ఖమ్మం జిల్లా డైట్ నుంచి బాలమురళి గారు, అలాగే మన సబ్జెక్ట్ కోఆర్డినేటర్ రవికళ మేడం గారు, మన టెక్నికల్ స్టాఫ్ DCB అసిస్టెంట్ సెక్రటరీ గారు ఐతగోని శ్రీనివాస్ గారు, అందరికీ ఈరోజు ఉదయపూర్వక నమస్కారాలు. మీ అందరికీ స్వాగతం సుస్వాగతం తెలియజేస్తూ, ఈరోజు అభ్యసన ఫలితాలు ఆంగ్లంలో ఎలా ఉంటాయి, తర్వాత NAS స్టేట్ రిపోర్టు, ఖమ్మం సూర్యాపేట రెండు జిల్లాల యొక్క రిపోర్ట్స్ ఏ విధంగా ఉన్నాయి అనేది మనం మొదటి రోజు చూసాం. అయితే దాన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని ఈరోజు శిక్షణ కార్యక్రమంలో ఆంగ్లంలో ఎలాంటి అవరోధాలు ఉన్నాయి, మరి అభ్యసన ఫలితాలు సాధించడంలో ఉన్నటువంటి అవరోధాలని ఈరోజు మనకు శిక్షణ కార్యక్రమంలో బాలమురళి గారు వివరిస్తారు. వాటిని ఎలా అధిగమించి రాబోయే రోజులలో మనం పిల్లల్ని అన్ని సామర్థ్యాలు సాధించే విధంగా ఏ విధంగా కృషి చేయాలనో సార్ వివరిస్తారు. బాలమురళి సార్, మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేయండి.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to all. You are all welcome to today's program. Today, we are going to have a wonderful session that is learning outcomes in English. What is the role of these learning outcomes in our teaching learning process? How can we help our students to attain wonderful English language skills? Let's understand. Dear teachers, there are two important surveys in connection with our education department. One is ASSER survey, Annual Status of Education Report. This is also known as Pradham survey. And other survey is National Achievement Survey. These surveys study our education system. They study our education system. They collect data, they analyze data, and they give us some information. They give some suggestions for our improvement. National Achievement Survey was conducted throughout the country on November 13th, 2017 for classes 3, 5, and 8 in government and government-aided schools. Findings from the NAS will be used for formulating policies, planning, and pedagogical interventions to improve students' learning. And dear teachers, it's very clear to all of us, whatever may be the activity that is taken up by our department is to help our students to, they are mainly to understand our strengths and weaknesses in our system. They are very much helpful to have wonderful policies, wonderful teaching learning materials, a wonderful classroom atmosphere. What is the infrastructure that is required? How can we develop our schools? How can we help our students? How can we make our students happy in our schools, learn well in our schools? And all the stakeholders, the parents, the elders in the society, they should feel happy. They should feel proud to see their children in our government schools. That is our intention. Hence, we are working for that. See, in recent days, all the people they are being attracted towards our schools. Our school strengths will be increased. Our school's quality will be increased. They know that the students are safe in our hands. We have wonderful strategies to handle their health. We provide good quality education with the help of qualified and experienced teachers. All these things, we can see wonderful days are ahead. And in this connection, these surveys also give some information to us. This mainly, what are the problems in our schools? How can we overcome those problems? They give the subject-wise analysis. Let us understand those things and let us attain that information to help our children well. Before going to that, we have to understand one important concept, that is learning outcomes. Learning outcomes are statements that describe significant and essential learning that learners have achieved and can demonstrate at the end of a course or program. In other words, learning outcomes identify what the learner will know and be able to do by the end of a course or program. Let's go further and understand it very clearly, dear teachers. You understand these learning outcomes are common to entire country. They are developed by MHRD and they are being implemented in our schools. And you see these learning outcomes. In order to find these learning outcomes, you go to SGT website, SGT Telangana. We find these learning outcomes and NES report, learning outcomes, what we in the form of pamphlets, very attractive pamphlets are there. You see, the pamphlets are like this. See, this is from our SGT Telangana website. You go with the help of your cell phone, you can access this Android phone and you can observe this. See, these learning outcomes are like this. These learning outcomes, for example, class 1 English learning outcome. Let's see. Listens and responds to simple classroom instructions. For example, this is one learning outcome that is for class 1 students. Hence, in our country, in our entire country, irrespective of their states, their districts, all the students, those who have completed their class 1, at the time of completion of class 1, they should be in the position to understand our classroom instructions. What are the classroom instructions? Simple classroom instructions. Please come here, please down, organize yourself into groups, please take out your book, please open our page number, and they have to greet, they have to reply properly according to our greeting. All these things, some classroom English and classroom instructions, our students should be in the position to understand. These are not confined. These are not confined to our schools, our Telangana schools. These learning outcomes that are there across our country, the entire nation, they follow this. Hence, we have one nation, we have one learning outcome. We work for that to help our students. Dear students, these learning outcomes, class 4 and class 5, you find here. You see, we have this National Achievement Survey. Why do we discuss about these learning outcomes? Means the National Achievement Survey is taken up by keeping in view our learning outcomes. They study the implementation of learning outcomes in our schools. Hence, we have to understand these learning outcomes. Dear teachers, National Achievement Survey that's conducted and they have given report. This progress card, our district progress report is there in our SGT website, SGT Telangana website. You can access it, you can understand it. Let's understand what is there in this report. This is some introduction about the report. Then, with the help of this National Achievement Survey report, we can understand mainly low performing LOs. That means, where do our students feel problem in their learning? It may be in languages, it may be in mathematics, it may be in EVS. For example, when we know our weakness, when we know our strengths and weaknesses, we can think of some strategies to overcome our problems and we can perform well. Okay, any field, it may be any field. We have to understand our weaknesses. We have to understand our where we feel some a problem. We should understand that and we should find proper what we call solutions to overcome that problems. Hence, this NAS report will give us that information. It also gives our average achievement levels. For example, our Suryapeta district, that information, where is our location? Where is our position in the national level? Where is our position in the state level? We can understand, we can analyze, we can understand our position, our district position in our national level and in our district level. And we can understand those things with the help of a NAS report. Let's understand further. See, this data, this National Achievement Survey, they conduct some examinations, and with the collected data from schools, they analyze data. They analyze data scientifically, and they give reports in the form of graphical representations in order to understand well. Any person can understand. When you observe this graph, you can understand our position at the national level, in our state level. You see, let's understand, you observe this. You see, this is average achievement by classes and subjects. This graph shows our position, our Suryapeta district position in national level and in district level. You observe class 3. This is related to our elementary level report. Hence, we have class 3, class 5, and class 8. Observe it very carefully. And let's understand, focus on our language area. Our language area, our national average is 68. And our state average is equal to our national average. Our state average is also 68. But our district average is 66. That it shows just there is a slight difference between our state level and our district level. No problem about it. Let's come to our 5th class. 5th class is also like that. Our national level, it shows 58. Our language performance of our students. Mean, that means average achievement of our students is 58. And when you think of our state, just below our national level, that is 57. You come to our language just slightly below to our national level and state level, that is 56. Hence, with the help of this, we can understand there is slight what we call difference just below to our national level and district level, the national level and state level. Our Suryapeta performs in that way. Just a slight difference is there. Let's understand common report. Let's understand common report. This is our common report. Common, especially primary level, they performed wonderfully. They performed well. You observe the graph shows like that. Our national level, it shows 68. Average achievement is 68 national level. You come to our state level, 68 equal to national level. When you think of our district, class 3 performance, language performance is very good. It is 74. It is 74. Same in the case of you. Let's come to 5th class. 5th class, our state shows below it, below our national level. Our national level is 58. Our state level is state average is 57. Our district, it shows it performs well. It shows 61. And so with the help of this graph, we can understand in class 3 and class 5 in language areas, our performance of our students is good. It's better than our national level and also state level. Hence, in this way, dear teachers, we can understand. Our position in the state and in the national level, and see this is our performance, our state level. Let's understand it. You see, Khammam district is in 2nd rank. When you give ranks to all the districts, there will be 16 ranks. Out of 16, our Khammam stands 2nd rank. That means number 1 is Siddipeta, then number 2 Vanaparthi and Khammam, 74. That means mean value, mean achievement levels of our students in class 3 shows 74 in our state. That means, well, let's come to our Suryapeta. It's also good. There are many districts behind our district. Our district is Suryapeta district is newly formed district. Even we performed well. We have there are many districts behind us. And Suryapeta, it is in 10th rank. When you give 16 ranks to all the districts, we stand 10th rank in our state in connection with the average achievement, mean achievement levels of class 3 students. Okay, in this way you can understand this type of information from National Achievement Survey. Let's come to 5th class. Our common district will be even in state level in 5th class also it is in 2nd rank, and Suryapeta it is in 8th rank with 56 mean level. Okay, very good. There are many other districts behind it. Okay, whatever may be the result you observe here, our target should be number one in entire our state and also nation also. Let's compete with our nation also. We are near to that. We can achieve that. We can understand these learning outcomes very clearly, and we can implement these various strategies to overcome these problems. We will be number one in entire country. Let's work for that. Let's understand, dear teachers, in this connection, I would like to say one other important information to you, that is these learning outcomes. We are very lucky to have these learning outcomes. I feel in that way. These learning outcomes, they give a lot of autonomy, that means scope to our teachers to teach in our classroom. For example, dear teachers, what is the best method of teaching? What's the best approach? What's the best technique? Is there any definition for that? I think there is no such type of thing. How can we choose? How can we, as per the needs of the students, as per our convenience, as per students' convenience, we teach our students? That is, we follow one approach, constructivist approach or interactive approach. We use different techniques and we implement it in the class. We help our students to understand things well. There is no one special wonderful approach or technique or method. Okay, in this connection, dear teachers, what is our role? Our target is learning outcome. Learning outcome oriented teaching we should take up. We need not confine ourselves only by the teaching things that are there in the textbook. Okay, some teachers that we come across, teachers say, sir, this information, this material is not adoptable or not appropriate to our students. I feel some difficulty in using the material that is there in our textbooks. They come to us, then they ask that question. Here, the solution is you can find here. Hence, the learning outcome is important. You see, learning outcome, for example, our students should read a small text and understand that. That is one learning outcome, very important learning outcome that is defined, that is assigned, that is there in our learning outcomes. That they should read a small text and understand that. They should read a small story and understand that. In order to enable our students, help our students to read a small story and understand that, you need not depend only on textbook. The textbook is only one of the tools. Okay, you may you depend on other sources. Various sources are there. Wonderful sources are there available. Now we are information technology, era of information technology. For example, you buy one cell phone today, tomorrow it will be outdated. The knowledge is growing like that. How can we use one type of text, one type of textbook for many years? You need variety. You access material, information, and implement it in order to help your students effectively in the classroom. That's why what I say here, conclude here, my intention here, you teachers, as teacher, you have autonomy. That means you have one capacity, we have one ability, or you have one power, what we call, you can use material as per your convenience. You need not use only one type of information that is there in our textbook. You use, but you should feel happy. You should be convenient. Same in the case of children. Children also should feel happy to use the material. Let our students understand, grow in that way. Let's come to our lowest performing learning outcomes. What are the lowest performing learning outcomes in languages in common district? Let's understand that further. This is with the help of district report card 2019. Where do you find this district report cards of NAS survey? These report cards are available in our Telangana SCRT. Just you type Telangana SCRT in your Android phone, you can open that website. In that website, you have complete information. Just I can't explain. Day before yesterday, my friend Vaijike Murthy, he stated some information. Yesterday also you learned something, and you continue it. But for complete understanding, you go to that website and access that information, read it. Read clearly a lot of information, various our school related information, teachers related information is there. That information is in the form of graphs. Understand that and understand those things and implement them in our classrooms. Now let's focus on lowest performing learning outcomes. Where do our students feel problem to understand English? What are their obstacles? What are their problems in learning English? See, these are the two problems that are suggested by our NAS report, that National Achievement Survey. Number one is reads a small text with comprehension, identifies main ideas, details, sequence, and draws conclusions. This is one area. The second area reads printed scripts on the classroom walls. It may be poems, posters, charts. You can understand here, teachers. Our children, they face problem to read and understand things. It may be a small text, it may be a story, a small text, or it may be one bank form, or it may be one small advertisement. It may be one authentic material. These things our student class 3 should understand. Actually, they should understand, but they fail to understand. What's the problem? See, these things. They, for example, if you give a small text, a small story, they can't understand that. They can't read that. And for example, you give one a small a wrapper, they can't read it and understand the information that is there. It may be the medical syrup wrapper. They can't understand what is that. They can't understand some posters. There will be some posters will be there. They call, you may come across on the walls. You may decorate these things on your walls, and these posters our students are not in the position to understand. Actually, class 3 students, when they see a poster or advertisement or a small story, according to their age, they should be in the position to read it and understand that. They should say about that. But our students, they fail to read that. That is the problem. Same in the case of class 5 also, dear teachers, our students fail to read and comprehend independently storybooks, news items, headlines, advertisements, etc. That is one problem. For example, you give a class 5 student at the time of completion of that course, our student should be in the position to read one, that means headlines of a newspaper. Just they understand at least one or two headlines. They should be in the position to read and understand. They should be in the position to read and understand story books, at least any book, any story book independently without help. And they should be in the position to understand advertisements. For example, we come across advertisements in our newspaper. They should be in the position to understand that. But they fail to. If you show one advertisement, it may be one a soap advertisement in English. They can't read that. They can't understand. It may be paste advertisement. They can't understand that. That is the problem. And what does it say? What is the inference of this? You have to take these things into your classroom and use. One day, go to class with advertisements. One day, go to class with newspapers. One day, go to class with what we call some Telangana tourism brochures. You do that. You do use that, these type of things. One day, go to class with one what we call one application form, name and biodata, how to fill that. Name, address, father name, like that. Use this type of different varieties of things in the classroom. That is education. That is the need of the hour. That is essential. Not just making your child to read something and by heart something and write in the examinations. Hence, we should use all these things to make them independent users of language. Even in Telugu, use that. No problem at all. That languages, the NAS report, it is related to both languages. It may be Telugu or English. The students' performance needs to be supported. The performance to be elevated. Do that even in Telugu also, no problem. Ask them to speak about a story, read story and say in the classroom. Give opportunities. In the same way, reads text with comprehension, locates detail and sequence of events. They should read a story. They should keep that story in one order. They should be in the position to explain it in one order. These things, they are not in the position to perform. See, these are the things, problems to us, our students. They can't read these news headlines. They can't read some small storybooks. They can't read some bank forms like that, biodata forms like that. They can't understand some advertisements. These are things available around them. They should be in the position to understand advertisements also. That's a life skill. Which TV I have to buy, I have to purchase. They should be in the position to read what is a good quality TV that is available in the market. Hence, these things are important. In the case of our Suryapeta district also, we both of us are friends, and our performance, that learning outcomes, lowest performing learning outcomes in Suryapeta also similar to our common district. Same things, same learning outcomes. These are the problems in class 3, like our common district. These are the problems in class 5. Total, we can conclude here, dear teachers, our students, they can't read English. That means it may be Telugu as a language. That means they can't read a language and understand that. Let's focus on that. Reading is very, very important, dear teachers. Our students should read well, understand well. Wonderful capacity that we have to give to our students. It's a very, very important skill that we should impart. Don't ignore that. Let's understand further. What's reading? Reading is a complex cognitive process of decoding symbols in order to construct or derive meaning. Okay, let's go further. Let's understand it very clearly. It's a life skill, dear teachers. They have to read many things. We have to read many things. We have to go to bank. There will be some forms. We have to read those forms, understand. You go to a shop, you read the brochures of different equipment, electrical equipment, maybe TVs, maybe washing machines. We have to read those things and understand. In our day-to-day life, in order to make our life very happy, we have to read many things. This is very essential, crucial, important, and not only students, but every person in entire life. We have to read for entertainment, read for information, read for our professional growth, continuous professional growth. We have to read many things. This reading is being ignored during these days, but it's very, very essential. We can't teach everything to students. They have to read things and understand. We have to provide that capacities. Let's understand further. Most of the essential information is in English, especially English reading. You are giving this capacity, means you are giving wonderful strength to your child. Yes, I definitely clearly state this statement without any doubt. If you make your students to read independently, you give this capacity, you teach it properly by following scientific way, you are making your child to live independently in this world. They can go across the world anywhere for education, for employment, for knowledge. Reading is essential. Let's go. It is key because entire information is in English, dear teachers. You know that. Information that comes first in English. Definitely the students, those who are preparing for competitive examinations, irrespective of their medium of their study, they should have this skill of reading English and that understanding capacities. Then they definitely they achieve. They will be in advantageous position, no doubt about it. Hence, reading is essential for employment. Okay, let's go further. Dear teachers, we are in an information era. We have open education resources. Just if you open our that internet, the information is in English. Whatever may be the information, it may be medical information or it may be whatever may be the information, just you are this information era, you obtain or retrieve information related to anything. Dear teachers, we have to use that. We should be blessed with the skill of using the technology. Google Maps is there. You should have skill to use that to find your location. There are many things. What we call Me Seva is there. You should be in the position to use that. Online banking is there. Everything is in English. You should understand it, read it, understand it, make use of that. Then your life will be happy. That's why these resources, videos, millions of pages of resources are available. These things are in English. Hence, our students should be in the position to read those things. They can grow well. They can grow. The sky is only the limit. They can grow well. You are providing wonderful abilities. Let's understand how can we help them. Web pages are there. Then let's understand how can we help students, especially primary level, even in case of high school level. How can we help them? Let's understand. See, dear teachers, pictures are there in our textbooks. Pictures are wonderful sources. Use them. Hence, even you observe our 10th class books, there are pictures. Use those pictures. Concentrate on that pictures. Let our students understand those pictures and read the information. That will help our students to understand things. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Multiple ideas can be conveyed by a single still image. Its picture is very essential. It generates wonderful thinking in our minds. This is very important for teaching. It may be whatever may be the subject. Let's understand. We have textbooks. There are wonderful pictures in our textbooks. Whatever may be, it may be EVS, it may be mathematics, it may be English. We have pictures. Now these are the pictures with the there are many. For example, just if you show one flower, a rose flower, it may trigger it may not trigger many ideas. For example, if you show one picture like this, just observe that. It triggers many ideas in our mind. These ideas will be transformed or generated into a form of language development, understandings. It gives understanding. These pictures with the text can create wonders in imparting knowledge in the minds of the students. That is the science of teaching. We have pictures in our textbooks. You use pictures from magazines, newspapers, posters, pamphlets, brochures. You make use of these pictures. You go to class with pictures, especially primary. Use them. You see the difference. These children love to see them. They observe, interact with them. A lot of language can be generated. So let us see. Here is one small story. Let's understand this. Just I show this story, and then after that I present the story with the help of pictures. You see the difference, the importance of pictures. Let's have a small 1-2 minutes video I would like to show to you, dear teachers.
Once upon a time, on the bank of a river, there was a tree. A dove lived on one of its branches.
Sir, can you see the video, sir? Hello, sir. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Video and audio?
Yes, both are.
When the dove was sitting on the tree, he saw an ant struggling for his life in the river water. The ant was crying for help. Help me! Somebody please save me! Oh God, help me! The dove took pity on the poor ant. He plucked a leaf and placed it near the ant. The ant quickly climbed onto the leaf. The dove now picked up the leaf and dropped it on the land. Thank you very much, my dove friend. I will never forget this help. Thank you once again. Now we are friends, said the ant. One day, when Dove was sitting on the branch of a tree, a hunter came there. He saw the dove and aimed for it, his bow and arrow. The ant was watching all this. Oh, my friend is in danger. I must help him. The ant slowly reached near the hunter and bit his toe. Cried the hunter. He lost the grip on his bow. The hunter missed the dove. The cry of the hunter alerted the dove, and he flew to a safer place. Thus the good friend dove saved by the ant. Moral: a good deed is always repaid with a good deed.
Dear teachers, this is one video. This helps us to understand. You may make use of this type of things. Let's understand it. The dove and the ant. A dove and an ant lived in a tree near a pond. One day, the ant fell into the pond. It could not swim. The dove saw it. It dropped a leaf near the ant. The ant stepped on the leaf and reached the bank. The ant thanked the dove. This is a small story with simple sentences. You observe the impact of this story with the help of pictures. A dove and an ant lived in a tree near a pond. They are good friends. One day, the ant fell into the pond. The ant cried for help. Please help me, cried the ant. The dove sighed. Please wait, I will help you, says the dove. The dove dropped a leaf near the ant. Step on the leaf, says the dove. The ant stepped on the leaf. Oh my God, now I am safe. You saved me like a god, says the ant. The ant slowly reached the bank. The ant thanked the dove. See, dear teachers, just you observe a small story, the impact of the story with the help of pictures, without pictures and with the help of pictures. You can understand with the help of pictures, our students can understand well about this story. Hence, as a teacher, we should have wonderful skills of storytelling. We have to narrate stories. We have that skill. We should develop that skill. That's very, very important for developing language in our students. Dear teachers, now I would like to show one wonderful 2 minutes video that explains that storytelling technique. Then after I explain about it, teach about it, you observe this wonderful storyteller is there. Observe her.
He'll sell a cap, he'll take the money, and he'll go. And he was going and going and going and going.
A story. Deepa Kiran, she is a very famous storyteller. She's a wonderful storyteller. You observe her. You observe her body movements. You observe her gestures. You observe her what we call her modulation, a changing of voice. These things we should learn. We should use in the classroom. Then students definitely they love and they learn good language. This type of saying, this is known as narrating story, not saying story. She is narrating story. Observe this. Observe this story. Just for 2 minutes.
And going and going and going. And one day he thought, Hare, let me go to the next village. Dur ka gaon. Huh? Let me go to the next village. So he started going and going and going and going and going and going. Then he had to go into the jungle, forest. So he went. I am so tired. And he sat down. Yes, and he went to. What was he doing? Sleeping. How was he sleeping? Yes, how was he sleeping? Can you show me? Can you show? Like this? Karate मार के. Yes, अच्छे से. Correctly, what happened? That time, up on the tree there were monkeys. They all came running down. Then what did they do? They went, they opened the bag and they found caps. So they took out because they saw this man was also wearing a cap. So same thing they did. Then one more monkey cap. All the monkeys wore the caps. Then what did they do? They went up. Then Shambhu, he woke up. What happened to my caps? Oh. Then he heard. You monkeys! You took my caps! What did the monkeys do? Give my cap. What did the monkeys do? Same thing. Arre? All the monkeys did?
Again the caps.
The monkeys were doing same thing. So he said, throw the cap. And monkeys did. Chup. Monkeys did. Oh, he thought. Then all the monkeys did.
He threw his cap.
Then he said, oh, what are they doing? Whatever I am doing, they are also doing the same thing. Acha. So he said, So all the monkeys did. Then he did. So all the monkeys did. What did they do? Show me. Then Shambhu did. So what did all the monkeys do? Very good. Shambhu picked up all his caps. He put it inside his bag. He tied it up and he took it and he ran away. That is the end of the story.
Dear teachers, this is a story. Deepak Kiran, a famous storyteller, just you observe that. Dear teachers, you observe that the various things, the language is not one obstacle or one problem to our children to understand that. You observe that. They are throughout the story, they are enjoying, they are receiving information. Hence, you observe, analyze various things that are there that constitute the characters or characters of our narrative. We have to narrate stories. Hence, narrative is a wonderful skill that we should attain, especially primary level. Teach narratives to children, they learn wonderful language. That will help them to read and understand things. All the skills are interrelated in language. Hence, we have to do this type of activities. Narrate the story. You observe while she is, that means presenting that, she changed her voice. You observe, she That means her voice modulation, you can observe her that. And also she uses gestures, hand gestures, facial expressions, actions, and all these things are very, very important. Those things, they enable our students to involve. They involve in the story. They forget things, that they feel that the story is happening in front of them. That type of mental vibrancy you should create in our students. That is the inference that you should understand. For example, you teach a story, say a story. When you are saying story, you observe the faces of the children. They should involve in your story. They should forget things. They should immerse. That we call creation of mental images. Emotional vibrance should be felt by the students while you are presenting that. These are the things you should attain as a teacher and use them in the classroom to develop wonderful language skills. Then you present a story with the help of pictures and ask them to arrange the information in a systematic way. For example, you give these story cards to them, ask them to arrange in one order. You organize group works, students do, especially in primary class 1, 2, 3. You do this type of activities. The students can pick up well. How to impart reading skills in our students? Now, dear teachers, I developed about 12 very important, that means concepts you should bear in mind. I developed. These are the things you should bear in mind while teaching reading. This will help our students to enable them to become independent readers. Okay, that is very, very essential. Already we discussed for several times. Reading is essential. That weapon we should provide to our children. Reading is a very good skill, essential skill for their development. This knowledge, their knowledge depends on quality and quantity of their reading. For example, in case of teachers also, as we have to read number of books, quality and quantity of books determines our knowledge. We don't learn the entire knowledge only in the classroom. Through reading, we develop our knowledge. Hence, we have to read number of books, and we have to so that we can develop good knowledge. Hence, our knowledge is proportionate to our reading skill. There is relation between our knowledge and our reading skill. How can we develop that? What are the important points we should bear in mind to develop good reading habits in our students? Let's understand. In a simple way, I would like to explain these techniques we should implement. What is the scientific way of teaching the reading to our children? Let's understand that. Use that, understand that, use that in our classrooms. See, number one, generally we have one that means one fear or phobia. For example, there are two newspapers, one Enad paper and one Hindu paper. We prefer to read Enad paper because that is in our mother tongue. That's why we prefer to do that. We have we fear, but don't feel like that. First thing we should have in our mind, yes, I can read this newspaper and understand that. Same in the case of children, develop that confidence. Students, don't worry, you can read and understand. Read it. Try to read it. Definitely you can understand. Wonderful, beautiful stories there. You give that type of confidence. Instill confidence in your student. That is very important. Yes, I can read. Yes, yes, dear teachers. Read anything. Follow scientific way. You can understand. That's all. Anything in English, no problem at all. You start today and you can see the result. Dear teachers, generally we feel that students they may not be in the, we have that fear, we may not be in the position to understand. That's why what we do, there is a wonderful story, the annual school story is there in our textbook, 3rd class. What do you do? What we generally, we translate that. Yes, when we translate, students understand that, and we feel very happy. Students, they feel very happy, and we feel that yes, my students are understanding English very well. That is wrong concept, yes, teachers. That means we have to remove that concept from your minds. Okay, come out of that concept. Don't translate, never translate English. The material, it may be in EVS, it may be in Telugu, it may be in English. That is meant for our students for the purpose of reading. Not to be explained in Telugu, not to be explained in simple English. Some teachers, they do, they make that English into simple English. Don't do that. Those two things, they stop our students' development. Give text, ask them, you read that, you can understand, you say that, that's all. You ask questions, students definitely they can understand that. Show a picture, interact, supply a small text, ask them to read that, ask them to interact, interpret that text, ask them to negotiate with the text, ask them to find answers in the text. Definitely they can grow well, they can read and understand the text well. You should follow that. Don't translate. Let our students attain the ability to read independently. For example, at primary stages, while we are teaching how to ride bicycle, we will be behind our children for some time only. We can't be continuously, we can't be with them in entire life behind them while they are cycling. They should ride that cycle or motorcycle independently. That is the purpose. Hence, these things, same in the case of here English also, our material is to be read by them, not for translation, not for paraphrasing, or not for other purposes. That is number 3. Point number 3, you should be encourage students to understand the meanings from the context. For example, while we are reading one Hindu paper, we come across many difficult words. Even Telugu, when we are reading, we come across some words we can't understand. Don't worry, leave that. Go continue your reading. Don't stop there. You come across some difficult words, don't stop there. Hence, you try to understand those words from the context. Sometimes the meaning of that word, sometimes that meaning is not essential. You can understand, that's all. That's why the inference of this point is read information. Read with some speed. You continue your reading. Don't stop anywhere. You come across here and there, come across some difficult words. Don't stop. What is this word? I can't understand this word. It may be problem. Don't worry like that. You continue your Hindi paper reading, or whatever the English paper reading, or whatever the material. You read that complete news item. You can understand that. You definitely can understand the information that is there. In that way, gradually you can attain wonderful proficiency in English. The same thing we should impart in our students. You observe, just this is recent newspaper, that information, our news item is there. You show this picture.
Yes, sir, excuse me, sir. We have 5 minutes left, sir.
Okay, madam.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right, madam. Okay, I conclude. See this is one news item. You observe that. What is there? You observe that. You show this material. See, our NAS report, it states our students, they fail to news headlines. Use this type of things. Let our students understand, observe this. There will be one news item. They definitely, with the help of that, they can understand. Who is he? What's he doing? What's that? What's the bird that you see? What's that bird doing? What's he doing? Who is giving food? Then they can understand, yes, Narendra Modi is feeding what we call these precious moments. Peacocks, he is feeding peacocks in his home. You can, in that way, they can attain information. Hence, how many peahens are there? What's he doing? What's the name of his residence? Yes, they observe that. Yes, the name of the residence of Narendra Modi is Lok Kalyan Marg. They understand in that way. Show this type of information and help your students to understand. Let's move. Same in the case of our texts. Show pictures. Show wonderful pictures are there. In our textbooks, it may be English or Telugu. Show those pictures. It may be even EVS. We have pictures. Wonderful pictures. Interact. Give oral practice. Give practice. Ask questions. Then ask questions. What do you see in the picture? Who is the headmaster here? Who is the teacher here? Yes, they can develop some sentences. They can understand. There will be a text. There will be a text that is there. You ask children to read that. Don't translate that. You ask one appropriate question. Who can swim well? You ask that. Already you in the while during you are presenting that picture, already you explained, you discussed about that. What does it eat? Where does it live? What are its characters? You explain very clearly. The student he knows that the duck can swim. Hence he reads the information. He reads the information and he figure out or make out correct meaning, correct that means answer. In that way, you present vocabulary words. You know the vocabulary words: walking, running, laughing, thinking, singing, dancing. These things you perform actions in the classroom and present. Every day you present various that actions in the classroom at primary level: walking, running, riding, that means dancing, drinking, eating. These things you perform. One day you go to classroom with some vegetables and show vegetables to them, real objects, present those vegetables. And one day you may go with some the pictures of animals. You encourage them to use dictionary, glossary that is there in the text. Encourage to read with imagination. Yes. You can understand, you read that, you give that type of support. You imagine, dear student, what will happen next. You find yourself. Let our students negotiate with the text and interpret it, understand it, read independently. Don't explain that. Ask. Then very, very important, help them to read individually. Let our students go to libraries and read books that are there. And don't read the material aloud before the students read and understand. Generally, what some teachers they do, they go to class, they open and they start reading. Don't do that. First, students have to read. Let our students read first. Then only you have to read. For example, first you read, their concentration will be that the grasping the what we call information will be a problem. This is wrong way science states like that. Don't do that. Don't read the material aloud before the students read and understand. Dear teachers, the next one is let our students maintain speed. Speed is also very crucial thing that you should bear in mind. They should read with some speed. For example, you take one Hindu paper, you read it with maintain some pace, speed. You can understand well. Hence, reading and understanding are interrelated. Yes, you bear this mind. You give time. I give 5 minutes of time. You read these 3 paragraphs. Be ready. In that way, you give task, and there will be. If you read slowly, you will be in unhappy circle. If you read with some maintain some speed, you will be in a happy circle. Always our students should be in happy circle. They read with some speed. They understand well. They derive enjoyment. They read with some speed. That's why speed and understanding are interrelated. Help your students to read. That means ask your students to read with some speed. Encourage, collaborate. It may be workplace, or it may be learning place, it may be outside life. The collaboration is a very, very important thing. We have to collaborate with friends to learn well, grow well in life. Ask appropriate comprehension questions. See, you give a matter and write the question on the blackboard. Who can swim well? Write it on the board. The swim word will be there. Then the student can grasp the meaning, find the meaning, he locates the meaning, that word, swim word that is there in the text. In that way, indirectly help him. Don't just ask and close. You write that question on the blackboard and ask the child to observe that question. That's what I am saying here. Write questions on the blackboard. Don't forget it. Let's present appropriate reading material. Wonderful reading material you provide. What is the reading material? With full of pictures, with bold letters, and with wonderful attractive pictures and good stories, animal stories, they feel happy. Provide that. Provide such type. It may be Balamitra or Sandamama, it may be Telugu or English. Don't worry. Collect them and show. When they look at that material, they feel happy to read that. Reading should be everyday habit, and that way you help your students to read regularly. Dear teachers, so far we discussed very, very important information. are related to what we call low proficient learning outcomes in our schools. Our students, they can't read well. That's why how can we help our students to attain wonderful reading skills? We discussed it so far. Implement them in our classroom. I request now our what we call the panelists or what we call coordinators to respond, and if there are any questions, I am ready to answer. Over to
Yes, sir.
you.
Sir, your presentation is so good, sir. Thank you, sir. Everything is went on in a nice way, sir. And you told about how do surveys are useful to us. The data of survey which is presented by you is tells the needs what we should follow in our schools, sir. And you explained about low performing LOs. Every teacher should think about these reports, sir, and plan to overcome it, sir. You told about the importance of English language. And sir, one more thing here. Personally, I impressed to the word which is used by you, sir. The word is science of teaching. It is so nice, sir. Wonderful word. And one final thing I would like to tell you, my dear teachers and my dear friends, that is, we should plan. We have our plans depend on LOs to improve our students' performance. And thank you, one and all. Thank you, sir. Sir, please close the session, sir. Srinu, sir.